helped most of the speakers that you see out there, including the great Vusi, those who know Vusi, and some of the speakers anyway here in Uganda. And why are we doing all this? Because when you learn how to own your voice, ladies, when you learn how to own your voice, everything changes. Your influence, your income, your inner peace, because everything you do in life, it all relates to communication. It all relates to how you use your voice. At your workplace, you're going to use your voice. When you're talking to your partner, that is communication, you're using your voice. When you're talking to your children, that is communication, you're talking to your children. But above all, even when you're talking to your creator, like you're using your voice. Even Islam itself tells us, you don't just go to Allah because, you know, Allah, they say Allah can hear anything and everything. But still, even Islam tells us there's a specific way you can communicate with Allah. So that is the power of communication. And when we want to get better in our communication, the first thing I want us to look at or to pay attention is self-awareness. That is where it all begins from. Like that is the simplest, that is like the root, self-awareness. So before I go to my next section, allow me to talk about, I talked about the PDF guides that I have, the Speak with Confidence and then the How to Overcome Anxiety. So I want to talk about the Speak with Confidence in just 1 second. So Speak with Confidence, this is a PDF guide. It's a practical guide to help you overcome fear, own your voice, and walk into any room ready to speak and shine. This PDF guide has very many different things on how to overcome different circumstances. I've put in very many scenarios. Right now, that PDF is 25,000, but all the ladies on this call, if you want it today, in this webinar, I'll give it to you at only 10,000. And the reason why I made it soft copy is for you to be able to read it from anywhere, anytime. If you feel stuck, a scenario has popped up, you can check through that guide. If you want that guide, it's only 10,000 if you purchase it during the webinar. So you send the 10K to me and I will send the book right back to you in your inbox. So right now, I want to talk about relatable struggles that we go through. Like I said, you walk into a meeting, you have a great idea, but because of one reason or another, you stay silent and let someone says that very point and they get the recognition. So anyone who has ever felt that or had that, you are in a meeting, you wanted to say something and someone else says it, be like, but that was my point. That was your point, but did you say it out? So that is one of the struggles. Or another struggle we go through is, okay, you've managed to speak up, but your idea is misunderstood or brushed off. Very many times our ideas are brushed off in meetings. Whatever to take a day. You say something and someone thinks, is this person off topic? You're giving the right information, but because it is not clear, you'll be misunderstood. And if we leave all that, work related, let's come to our day-to-day life. You're trying to express your feelings to your partner or your friend or even your child, and they misinterpret you. We've had very many scenarios where you say, nayo mwami wange tantegeera. Or even the mommy says, like every time I talk to her, simutegeera. Like you always try to communicate, but somehow someone does not understand you. Why aren't they understanding me? In most cases, is how you're communicating your point or whatever feedback or anything you want to say to your partner or your friend. How are you bringing out that communication is very, very key. Okay. Then, if very many times, if you are misunderstood at work, at home, or in any community, it costs us. And very many times we don't think of the cost of communication. But remember, if you're not communicating clearly, or if your spouse is not communicating clearly, what does that mean? Relationship issues. If you're at your workplace and you're not communicating clearly, what does that mean? No promotion. Because how is your boss going to front your name when they do not understand what you say? Or you are in a meeting, you can't even suggest something because you're scared. So how is your boss going to front your name if you're not saying anything? So that's how important communication is. That's why I want to let you know, ladies, communication is not just a nice to have skill. Maybe I'm not gonna be, you know what? I think I have some time on myself. Let me go and learn this. It is not a nice to have skill. It is a must. Like I've explained, when you're talking to your spouse, when you're talking to your sibling or family or work, all this is communication. So it is something we need to take care of, as it is as urgent or as important as these other skills that we see, that we give attention. So I want to share some good news that in as much as, yes, communication, we hear it, or we hear people talking about it, the beauty is, or the truth is, the best communicators that you know in the world, those good speakers that you listen to, these guys were not born like that. They were made, like they learned this skill. Like I've said, it is a skill. It is not something you're born with. It is something you can learn over time. The way you learn how to drive a car, the way you learn how to ride a bicycle, how to cook, which other way, like learn another language, like the way you learn all those things is the same way you can learn how to speak clearly and confidently. Clearly and confidently. We all listen to the good speakers in Uganda or even outside Uganda. People have favorite speakers. People have listened to Oprah. People have listened to Barack. I love listening to Vusi. You know, we have some Ugandan speakers. I think people followed a lot of Nakasbe during her time on TV. I'm looking out for some ladies, and all those other ladies that you're following. One thing you should know is they studied the art of communication. They were not born like that. They rehearsed, they reviewed, they refined, they prepared. So in as much as you go out there and enjoy whatever they are speaking, just know there's some background work that is being done. And that is what we are learning today. Like I said, it starts with self-awareness. Okay, if you have any question, like I said, put in the chat box. Put in the chat box the emojis and everything. Anyway, so I want us to dive right in the foundations of powerful communication, and that is your voice. Today, I want to focus on the voice. Why? We have what we call the vocal image and then the visual image. But over time, we've given attention to the visual image. What do I mean by visual image? How you dress up, how to show up, you know, especially as ladies, we all normally want to show up in the best way possible. So that's why I'm not focusing on that. I want to focus on voice because we give less attention to the voice. We think because I'm able to speak, you can hear me. Today, we need to learn that the voice, you also need to give attention to it. Okay, so what are the elements of your voice? I want to look at the 5 simple. Today I'm looking at the simplest of the simplest because these are basic things that we can start with. So what are the 5 simple vocal tools that you can walk away with today that you can start giving attention? Maybe you've been doing it, but you are doing it subconsciously. So now we want it to be more of do it consciously. The first one, the first element of your vocal mastery is the rate of speech. The rate of speech. When you're communicating to your friend, to your spouse, to your boss, what is your rate of speech? And when I mention rate of speech, what do I mean? If you speak very fast, people get overwhelmed. If you speak very slow, they will get bored. So when we talk about the rate of speech, it's more of the speed at which you are speaking. Let me give an example. Just imagine today I showed up and I'm like, so today we are going to talk about the power of communication. And in this, we are going to look at vocal mastery. Like, you're going to get bored because that is too slow. Then too fast could be, welcome ladies, today we're going to talk about the power of communication. How can you speak with clarity and confidence so that you'll be like, good, slow down, what's up? You know, you'll be left behind. So whenever we are talking and we want to be understood, we need to focus on the rate of speech. Let me tell you a story. When I was in Pride, I worked in Pride for over a decade, Pride Microfinance. And the section where I was the one training every new staff that came into the bank. There was a regulatory requirement by Bank of Uganda that was needed to train. So, in those first days, people used to tell me, Naiba, you're speaking very fast. So what came to my mind is, okay, that means I have good English, At first, I took it as, what is it called? Not a bonus. What is it called? Compliment? Yes, I was looking for that word. So when people are telling me, hey, you talk very fast. So I thought maybe this is a compliment. Maybe they are telling me I'm speaking good English, in as much as sometimes people relate talking very fast to her speaking good English. Are people understanding what you're saying? So for me, that is something that took me quite a while to resonate with, that, what, you have to speak slowly. So actually up to now, I'm learning on how to speak, like to be mindful of my rate of speech, because for quite some time, I was speaking very fast and I didn't know. That's why I said self-awareness is very, very key if you want to improve on how you communicate, especially if your focus is on being understood by people, not just speaking. The rate of speech, like you need to be mindful about it. So the second element of vocal mastery is your volume. The first one was rate of speech. The second one is your volume. When you speak too loud, it feels aggressive. When you speak too soft, it seems you're not sure of what you're going to speak. You come here and start saying, hello, good evening. You're given a mic, maybe at office or wherever, and then you start, hello, good afternoon, how are you? Like you even have the mic, but we can't hear you. What does that show? Someone will definitely know that you're not certain of what you're going to tell us. So when you speak so softly, it sounds like you're not sure, you're not confident of what you're going to tell us. When you speak so loudly, you sound like aggressive. People will say, oh no, about Dichi, So we need to be mindful of the volume. That's why sometimes when someone comes to speak to you and they are too loud, like you may not even get what they are saying, because you can look at someone and you'll be like, okay, now what should I tell this person? And you come off as someone who, what is the right word to use in English? In Luganda, maybe I can say, like you're talking very loudly, you're talking on top of you're going to lose the meaning. Someone is going to lose your communication, even the attention they would have given you to listen to whatever you want to say, like it will drop. That the attention will drop. So at the end of the day, you're speaking loudly. Yes, you've said whatever you wanted to say, but did they understand it? Were they present enough to hear it? But because you are too loud, the volume was too loud, it left them behind. So the third thing I want us to look at is the pitch and melody. Pitch and melody. There's a difference between pitch and melody and then tonality. We shall look at tonality as our fourth. So when we talk about the pitch and melody, a flat tone may look robotic, Melody is more of you adding, like what can I say? What example can I give you? You adding some bit of emotion, like you adding some bit of excitement. Let me give an example. When you're talking to someone, pitch is how you vary your speech. When you're talking, especially now, when you're talking to your friends, when you're talking in a meeting and you're talking about something either sad or good, or like, your speech needs to vary. When you're talking about something important, you can talk at a slower pace. And then if it is not very, very important, you can make you can speed up. Let me give an example. Maybe you're giving instructions to your nanny, your maid, helper, whatever name you call that person. You're at home, you're telling her maybe you have a visitor coming over. So you want them, like, you want to communicate something clearly. So to bring out the pitch and melody very well could be, you tell her, I want you to mop the house. I want it to be sparkling clean. I want it to be spotless. I want it to smell very well, very good, or in the best way possible. Why? I have some friends coming over and I would want them to really, really feel at home. So when you're talking about the sparkling, you're talking about it in a slow pace, because that is something very important and you don't want her to miss it. And then the other thing so I speed up a bit when I was talking about my friends coming over. That's not so quite important. But then at the end, I said I want them to really, really feel at home. So pitch and melody is, you can play around with your voice when something is really, really important and you want to emphasize and you want people to understand it. We need to make sure that the pace is not very, very fast, because we want them, so that in the event that they are to miss everything in the communication we've said, at least let them not miss that point. That's why we endeavor to say it in the, not very slow, but at least in an emphasizing manner. So pitch and melody is very, very important. When you're talking about something in a flat tone, like, someone might not even know when you're serious and when you're not serious. So when you're emphasizing and when you're not emphasizing, that's why it's always good to play around with your pitch, with your melody. It helps people really understand and say, wanonga genze mpola. This must be quite important, because people are paying attention. Then the fourth one is the tonality. Tonality is more of the emotions behind your words. For example, we are using simple terms today, the emotions behind your words. Just imagine someone does something good for you and you say, thanks. And then someone else says, thank you, that was so thoughtful. So which one to use sounds real and not sarcastic? So the tone in which you say your message is very, very important. If you come to talk to someone and your tone is coming from, like, the tonation is, you're more of angry, emails themselves, you can easily tell the tonation, the tonation someone was using, even in just the email, because of the choice of words they are using. So if your tone does not have the emotions, or it has too many emotions that you failed to overcome them, and you place the emotions in front of you and you ended up putting them either in the email or in the voice, someone can easily notice. Just imagine someone comes to you and they are yapping, or they are talking in this rude manner, because being rude, that is also tonation. They're talking in that rude manner. Will you listen? Be like, someone comes to you and they are blaming you, they're talking on top of their voice. Surely, will you listen, even if they talk? Because you're going to even be caught of, I don't know, like, what's up with this person? Sometimes that's how we talk to our spouses. And then someone will look at you, has this person did they have a bad day? How come they're bringing all their anger on me? Remember, that anger is not in the action that you've been slapped, but the tonation, how you're saying your words. So do you think someone is going to remember what you said? Do you think they're going to give it attention? Someone will just say, okay, you are a supervisor at work, but how you give instructions, what tone are you using? So will people understand the instructions if the tone is rude, Do you think they'll go ahead and ask questions if the tonation you've come in with is a high one? Do you think they'll ask questions? No, they'll just say, okay, boss, okay, madam. Even just the people we have at home, the nannies that we have, you come and you're rude and you're what? Someone even will take blame for what they've not done, because they'll be like, no, I don't have time to explain to this one. But probably if you came in a better tone, someone can even give you more information. Auntie, that is not me. It's not me who did this. This and this happened. But sometimes because of the tonation that we use, these people will just keep quiet. So do you think they'll do whatever you want them to do if your tone is like that? I highly doubt. Think about it. So the last one, the last one, remember, we're looking at, for the people who are just joined, we are looking at the core elements of vocal mastery. When you're going to talk, these are things you need to know. Whether you're talking to your child, whether you're talking to your spouse, whether you're talking to your boss, these are some of the things that you need to have at your forefront. Your conscious mind should be aware of these things, because they'll guide how you communicate to that person and how that person perceives you, or whether they understand your communication or not. So the fifth element is the pause. I think for people who joined late, we were talking about the pause. I was put on a spot to say something, and it was the pause. So what can I say about the pause? The pause is powerful. The pause will give you time to land. And what do I mean by this? Very many times we're going to be caught off guard. Very many times we're going to be put off spot. Very many times we're going to be challenged. You can be talking and someone gives a comment that gets you off track. But if you learn the power of pausing helps a lot. It's like your comeback. Whenever you're talking to someone and you pause, you're giving them a chance to listen to what you're saying. Because if you speak 100 words without not even pausing a single bit, so do you think they're also going to hear the 100 words at the same speed that you are speaking them? We've seen very many times leaders or whoever, people, like when you talk about the power of pausing, I've been told, but sometimes, when someone asks you a question and you pause, it will appear like you don't have the answer. That is wrong. If you think that pausing is a sign of weakness, is a sign that you do not know what to talk about, then it is the other person who is thinking like that who is wrong. Each time you pause, it gives you a chance to come back. Each time you're put on spot, someone asks you a question and you're not certain of the answer to give. When you pause just a few seconds, your brain will look for the answer. If you've practiced that, your brain will give you an answer. If you pause, if you pause, it will give you a great comeback. For example, let me give an example of a sentence and we see whether it will bring out the pause very well. I can try something like this. It's a sentence. I can say this sentence in two ways. I am confident and I deserve to be heard. So you can also tell me in the chat box, which one do you think will resonate better, will land better? It is the same sentence. I'm going to speak it in two ways. I am confident and I deserve to be heard. Or I am confident and I deserve to be heard. I don't know if you're able to tell the difference. Were we able to tell that?
Please say it again.
Okay, let me say it again.
I think Tony, number one is confident. You're speaking with confidence.
So, Mariam, say, let me speak. There are two sentences. Same sentence, but I'm speaking it differently. Number one, I am confident and I deserve to be heard. I am confident and I deserve to be heard.
Number 2 seems more confident, and I guess it's because of the pause.
I've seen someone else also saying number 2. Yes, number 2 because of the pause. Like, you're giving someone a chance to hear what you're saying. I am confident and I deserve to be heard. Then I am confident and I deserve to be heard. So whenever you're pausing, you give a chance for someone to hear you better, and to also give yourself a chance in case you've forgotten your next line. It gives you a chance to think about it very quick, just seconds. When we're talking about pausing, we don't mean, pause for 5 minutes. No. Pause for a few seconds. Okay. So we're going to go to our last segment. So how do we do the self-awareness? How do you know how you are talking? We've talked about the rate of speech, the volume, the pitch and melody, the tonality, and the pause. But then how do you know where you lie? Is your volume so high? Is it low? Is your rate of speech very fast or slow? How is your tone? How is, do you normally pause or you go flat? So that is what I want us to look at next. So before I go to our last segment, allow me say this for the new members that came on board. We have an offer today. I was talking about the PDF guide that I have. It's called Speak with Confidence. This is a practical guide for you to overcome fear, own your voice, and walk into any room ready to shine. In this PDF, we talk about things like how can you build unshakable confidence, overcoming the fear and build that unshakable confidence. In that very guide, we talk about how to speak with strength, voice, and the body language. Here I've talked about only voice. In the guide, we also talk about the body. Yeah. Then still in that same guide, we talk about how can you speak even when your heart is racing. Very many times you are called to speak, but your heart is racing, you're fearful. But what tools can you use so that you go and speak confidently? Then how can you stop rambling? Very many times we speak, but we are rambling. Then there are things like if you're interrupted, what do you do? How do you handle that situation? You're speaking and someone interrupts. Then just imagine you're speaking and someone makes a comment and you lose your confidence in the seconds. So what is your comeback? How do you bring back your confidence? So we have things like when you're put on spot. So in that guide, we have all those marvelous, marvelous things and tools, practical things to share. So as communicating before, that guide is 25,000. That's how I'm selling it. But for all the ladies on this call, if you would like that guide, it is soft copy. You are able to read it from anywhere and anytime. So for all the ladies on this platform, if you're buying it today from this webinar, it's only 10,000. Wow, who wouldn't want such an offer? So if you're buying it, send the money to 075 888 0898. You send the 10,000 and I'll send you the soft copy of that PDF guide. Speak.
Leilah, please repeat the number.
075 888 0898. 075 888 0898. So I'll give it to you at only 10,000. If you have also your other friends, 10,000 during the webinar. So we proceed. I know, like I've said, we're all wondering, so how can I know how I sound? In the beginning, I said, if you want to communicate better, then focus on self-awareness. So now our next step is how can we be aware of our rate of speech, of our volume, of our melody, of our tonality, and pause. And I'm going to make this a little quick. I see we're running out of time. So it is a 3-step self-awareness practice. Very practical. And ladies, if you do not do this, your communication can never improve. This is one of the simplest practical ways. I promise you that if you do it again and again, you'll be amazed at how you speak, at how your communication improves. So what is this 3-step process or practice? that I want us to do. It's recording yourself. Very simple. Pick a topic or anything you'd like to talk about, anything you're comfortable with. Pressure. Record yourself for 3 to 5 minutes. It could be on your phone. So when you're recording yourself, preferably stand, not seated, stand. Talk about a topic you're comfortable with. Are you selling bags? Assume you're selling a bag to a customer. Okola mu byemmere? Assume you're telling us about a recipe. Was it Shamim who was telling us about customer experience? Record that 3 to 5 minutes. Record yourself. Video on your phone. It would be better with I think the front camera. You do a front camera. You record yourself properly. So after recording, now we need to review, like we said, so that we know. Now here, even the body language is going to come in. What was the body language like? What is your rate of speech? What is your volume? So the first review is going to be, the first step is your auditory review. What do I mean by auditory review? Just listen. Play that recording, place your phone down. Make sure you do not watch the video. We are just listening. Matu kolakati. But before you reviewing that video, I would advise you review the video after like a day, like after 24 hours. Why? When you review that video immediately, like your mind already knows what it was talking about. So you're not going to listen articulately, like you're not going to focus because your mind already knows probably what you talked about. But after 24 hours, this video is going to appear like fresh to you. So we said the first is auditory. Place the phone down, don't look at the video. So just listen to what you are saying. You are selling to us the bags. How were you selling the bags? How are you telling us this recipe? How are you telling us this customer experience? And the major focus here, we want to look out for the filler words. You know, like the things like, you know, very many times we'll be talking about like, as I was going, so when you do that, you're going to be able to hear all those things. Like I said, like, which other word? Sorry. There are very many non-filler, those filler words. So each time you listen to that, you take note. Have your book and your paper, a pen and paper. So take note of why did I say a funny word? And those the filler words. So that is the auditory. Then for the visual, now we are going to visual. When you're reviewing the visual, mute the volume. Remember, we are done with the volume now. Mute the volume. Don't look at the video while the volume is on. No, you mute it and just look at yourself. When you look at yourself, you're going to see all of the funny things that you do while you're speaking. I've tried doing some of these the practicals with the people I work with, I train, and you find someone recording themselves and they're looking somewhere else. Like they're holding the phone, instead of the eyes like focusing in the camera, they're looking somewhere else. So all that is what we are pointing out in the video or in the visual review. Then you'll see maybe you are over moving your hand. In communication, always look out for something that is going to distract your listeners. Maybe you over move your hand, you over shake your head, things like that. I can give a story around that for this point to drive home. I have a relative I know. Each time she spoke, people said Azimula. Why? She has, I used not to see it. She has big eyes. So people said each time this person is talking to them, Azimula, like she's rolling her eyes. So for a very long time, she kept wondering, she kept explaining herself, but that's not what I do. But you know what? So when you're doing this visual and you're reviewing, you can ably see some of those things. Then me, myself, I can also give an example around that. When I'm focused, when I'm concentrating, I think I fold my forehead. When I'm focused, maybe you're telling me something serious. So I didn't know this thing. My mom used to tell me, when you're talking, like, make sure like you don't fold your forehead. Fold your forehead, like make sure the lines in your forehead. Then I told her, but I don't do it intentionally. I am not aware of it. But it being my mother, I never paid attention to it, by the way. But when the repercussion or when I got serious about it is one time we're talking to my boss. when I was still at Pride. So this guy is telling me things from, yeah, you know, you're serious, you're writing the points. And then this guy looks at me and says, it's like you're not interested being here. I'm like, so for him, he looked at when you look at my face, I think when I'm serious, I look angry, for lack of a better word. So I started taking note. I'm like, that means what my mother was telling me probably made sense. Maybe when I'm talking and I'm serious, there's a way I fold my face, and someone might think I am angry, but I'm paying attention, grasping every little thing. So whenever you do these visuals, this visual review, it's going to show you all those things. So that's because sometimes we are going to lose the promotions because someone thinks you're not interested in their conversation, yet for you, actually, you're paying attention. You see. And then the last one is it's called transcribing. So the third review is you to transcribe. What do we mean by transcribing? Don't listen to the audio. Don't watch the video. If you have a software that transcribes, that gets to write down what you are saying, that will be helpful. And what are we looking out for from here is for you to see, is it going to say out the exact words you are saying? For example, you are saying, I sell these bags to girls, but the transcriber software wrote goals. That means maybe you're not saying your words articulately. You're not able to enunciate all the words. So that 3-step process will help you know, whatever you're speaking, are you speaking it clearly? Or there is some improvement you need to do. So when I talk about the self-awareness, that will help you be more self-aware on how you show up, on whenever you're communicating. Are your words clear? Is your body language speaking in alignment to what you're saying? And are your words clear that someone will be able to understand them clearly? So that exercise I would like us to do in our free time so that we are aware of what we do. So as I conclude, I'd like to tell you, ladies, and remind you that how you look will give the first impression, but how you speak is what is going to leave a lasting impression. You could walk into any room like very beautiful in your abaya, in your sharia, but if your words are mumbled, unclear, or if you are timid, you know, the impression will fade away immediately. Someone who looked very nice in the habaya, someone will start questioning whatever they are saying, because confidence isn't loud, it is clear. When you speak, someone can know. So as I conclude, thank you so much, ladies. And I want you to remember that your voice matters, your ideas matter. But the world won't know until you start communicating with clarity and confidence. We shall never know your brilliant ideas. We shall never know those suggestions unless you table them clearly and confidently. So thank you so much. It was such an honor to have you here. In case you have any question, or back to you, Mariam, to guide the next segment. But allow me 1 minute, as I had forgotten to mention something. As I close, yes, I would like to mention I'd mentioned about Hatmana Lugwa Sekaya. We have a masterclass on 30th August. This masterclass is going to focus on you mastering the art of communication. We are going to do this with Hatmana Lugwa Sekaya. You know her, she has been in this space for quite some time. And then also we are talking to a Bahati Hilda to be our guest speaker, but we are yet to conclude with her, so you will know all those details. Thank you so much. Back to you, Mariam. You're muted.
Clearly, I did not learn anything from this session if I'm muted. But alhamdulillah, thank you so much for such an amazing session. Very, very insightful. And I like that there are practical tips that you can go away and try. Ladies who attended this session, maybe we could share our videos on the group if you're brave enough, and you get other people to give you their reviews as well. But yeah, away from that, it was really, really good. This has been hosted by the Veiled Millionaire, and we are a platform that brings together Muslim women who want to grow in business, in career, and in life in general. We have a network where we've seen people grow, their personal relationships, and it's just a really good community to be a part of. So I have attached the WhatsApp link. Sorry, I have a bit of allergies. I've attached the WhatsApp link in the chat box. So anyone who wants to join us, please click on the link, join our main group, and we have activities like this. We have the Katale that happens. We have the webinars that happen every Wednesday. And yes, please do come and be a part of us. Personally, I have a lot of work to do. I am trying to slow down my speech. Leilah, I don't know how I'm doing. I'm trying to slow down. But yes, a lot to take home, a lot to think about. And as Leilah kept on emphasizing, communication it makes or breaks us in every single way. Your relationships, your business, your work, how you communicate dictates how things are going to go. I know a few people who do the whole kuzimula unintentionally situation, but yeah, not everyone will get used to that. Some people will still find it offensive. Some people are like, me, I'm loud. Sinacha chikodida. Yeah, not everyone appreciates your loudness. Actually, yesterday someone told me that loud people give her a headache, and she was being very genuine about it. So if you went for an interview with someone like that, you definitely lose out on that opportunity. So yes, let's pay more attention and let's practice. Nothing comes just like that, right? So let's practice and let's do better for ourselves. Even communication with the children, there's something Neda was talking about of the pause. I'm going to try the pause with the children and I'll let you know how that goes. But yeah, so if anyone else has any questions, any comments, compliments, anything, please feel free to drop it in the chat for the next 3 minutes. Leilah has talked about her book, the soft copy that she's selling. Please buy it. It's 10,000 shillings today. It's 25,000 on a normal day. And it will expand on everything that she has taught us. So please support her, buy the book, share with other people her number to buy the book. Please, please, please do not share the PDF to people who have not bought it. Out of respect, out of decency, out of appreciating the amount of work and time that she put into creating it. So just 10,000 shillings, buy it for yourself, buy it for your loved ones. Yes, let me check if there's anything in the chat. It was basically asking about how to purchase the book. I have attached the number if you're interested. And yes, anyone else with anything? No one? We're good?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sharifa.
Can we get an extension at least for today to buy the book? Just for today? For today until midnight? And maybe we can post
Leilah,
the
okay?
information in the chat, in the group.
Leilah, is that okay with you?
If she has asked, then yes, it's okay. Yes, we can go up to midnight. 10,000 up to midnight.
So if you could put maybe a proper link on the group so that people can buy.
Okay, I'm going to put that up now.
Okay, and we also have the second cohort of Girls for Girls that is open. I'm going to share the link after this call. I'm going to share it on the group. Please come and join this program. It is amazing. You grow in ways that you never could have imagined. So please let us join. Let's join it. The fee is very minimal, but it's nothing compared to what you're going to get out of it. Slots for that are limited. So yeah, come, let's join. We've had a number of people here from the last cohort who are going to be mentors in the new cohort, like Madam Leilah, who has put up her hand. Yes, Leilah. Leilah.
I wasn't aware that I was going to be a what? A mentor, but Mashallah, alhamdulillah. I just wanted to comment. I wanted to say this. I have to do my recordings to just stop with the but I wanted to say that I loved experiencing Leilah today. I've been seeing her posts and following her. I think I see her on Facebook, her posts on Facebook, and I think she's been posting on the Veiled Millionaire about her coaching. So it was nice listening to her today, and there was some very good takeaways, and I will surely buy the book. Well done, Leilah.
Thank you so much, mashallah.
And also, just to say, Leilah, not the Leilah who has just talked, Leilah who presented, is a testament of be consistent. Huh? Don't stop. Keep going. Like, do it. Over no one is watching. Do it regardless. And she's reaping from that right now. Right, Leilah?
Yes, alhamdulillah, it gets clearer by the day, it gets better by the day, like you said. Consistency. Yeah, people are watching.
Kulemerako. Kulemerako. So I think that's another lesson we should take away from today. Okay, apart from that, if there is no one else, I think we shall wind up the call. Leilah, your last word to everyone as we end today's session, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My last word to all of us would be, very many times you're going to be scared to do certain things. Like you have a dream, you have a passion, like you have something to do, but you're going to be held back by fear. You're going to be held back by bananda, but yeah, you're going to be held back by what will they say. But I'd love to encourage all of us, for as long as you believe in something, go out and do it. The confidence will come later. In as much as we teach confidence, confidence does not come before you do something. It comes in the process. So go out there, go out and speak, even when your voice is shaky. Go out and start that business, even when you're not sure, for as long as you've prepared. Allah will bless you and it will come out successfully. So do not let fear stop you from taking action in anything or making your life better. Allah will guide you, but please take action, however small it might be. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that, Leilah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. And anyone who wants to keep up with this, please do click the link in the chat box to join the group, inshallah. One last one. Leilah, Mima Test is asking if the discount applies to the physical copy as well. Is there a physical copy for the book?
No, the Speak with Confidence doesn't have a copy. How to Overcome Anxiety doesn't have a hard copy. It's only the Gratitude Journal and the Memoir that have a hard copy, and those ones are not on discount. The discount is only for the Speak with Confidence because it's in alignment with what we're talking about today. Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. We have some people on TikTok asking, but I'll deal with those, inshallah. All right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and have a good night.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good night.